What is going on, guys? Today we are looking at big boy Wijanaldum, the Liverpool 85 rated centre mid. We managed to pick him up, or pack him should I say, very early on in the game. Very nice card, and I think especially to start with, this card's going to be someone that you'd probably pick up and be happy with for a good week or two, depending on how many coins you make, how much time you spend on the game. And that's always what I'm trying to get across in these reviews is it all depends on what you want in this game. Do you play it 8 hours a day like how some content creators do it? Do you play 1 hour a day? Do you play every other day? It all depends on what you want from the game in terms of a squad, in terms of how much you play. That is what then defines, is this a really good player to get on day one? Or, for instance, like someone like It's Harbour, like Castro, like Bateson, this guy barely gets into their fodder team anymore. They've got icons, they've got Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar. That's the kind of comparison we're going with. I know that's a huge gap right there, but I think personally, after playing with him for quite a few matches now, because I thought we'll get a few of the reviews out first, and then we'll look at some of the kind of, not necessarily even cheaper beasts, because he's still 35k extinct. I think he's just one of them ones that I wouldn't pay 35k for right now. But then the problem is, when he does drop in price, would you actually pay for him? That is always the big question with these players, is when they do drop in price, will you want him then? Because more than likely the 86s, the 87s, the 88s have all dropped in price as well, and that's when you look at getting a Virgil, you look at getting a Kante. Obviously they will be still more expensive than what these cards will be. We'll see a Wijnaldum probably a month in at about 10 to 15k, maybe even 5k. I'm probably not, but you know what I mean. They're going to be a lot more reasonable priced, but then someone like Virgil, instead of being 500, 600k, more than likely is 200, 300k. So it all depends on the perspective you want from there. But anyway, let's have a look at his stats. Let's have a look at what this guy's all about. So to start with, he is a 4-star. He is right-footed, standing at 5'9", with a high work rate, which is always good for a central midfielder. Personally, I've been playing him as a central midfielder or a cam, just because I haven't really found that prem cam that I really like. I do take him off at half-time if I am kind of struggling on rivals for a bit of promise. So obviously, he's a hit and miss kind of card for me at the minute in terms of where I'm positioning him, because I do have Ndidi and Henderson sitting in that defensive role for me, and then obviously Wijnaldum is kind of that cam role. Would I say he's better than Ndidi? I think as a centre mid, yes. As a defensive mid, which is what I use Henderson and Ndidi for, then probably not. That is the kind of big problem, as I don't have that midfielder role. I like the defence, I like the attacking side of any of them, and for his kind of position, he's a mid. He is a midfielder, and that's where he really flourishes, in my opinion. In terms of pace then, and stats in general, we've got 76 pace, which obviously from the start of this game, we have had a lot of people lose pace, be downgraded. We've had a few go up, and it's just a whole mess at the minute. And I think there's not a problem with 76 at this moment in time. Yes, as we get into informs, as we get into the first promo, we're going to see some very interesting upgrades. And I think this is why they've kind of not necessarily downgraded everybody, but they've kind of took certain bits. You can see right now, 75 shooting, 78 defending, 79 physical, only 86 dribbling. That is the only stat on this card that makes over 85. So obviously there is a build-up of all these stats that kind of make that overall rating. So it's going to be interesting to see what the informs are like. Have they kind of downgraded everything to then make informs or special cards more relevant earlier on? Does it make them more meta to get? Will it increase their price? That's something that we're going to find out. But we have got good dribbling on him throughout. I think every stat is pretty bang on right there. We've got average to okay shooting, really. It's not amazing, but it's not absolutely in the dirt. We've got good long and short passing, nearly get my words out. Stamina's correct. We've got great jumping. We've got, again, average to okay defending. And what this card does for you is it opens up, where do you want him? Do you want him as a defensive mid, which I will show you at the end of the review, to obviously show you what a shadow does to him. But that would get him up to 86 and 86. If then we flipped it and you wanted him more attacking, you go with a hunter. It then flips him to 86, 82. If you wanted more finishing, which I don't think you really do in this portion of the game, because obviously that now gets dribbling and shooting up. And I think for me, his dribbling for this point in the game is absolutely fine. You could go with maybe a sniper that gets his physical and shooting up. So obviously you've got that element. But overall, I'm really happy with this card so far. Let's show you some gameplay and see how we can go from there. So jumping into some gameplay with him, as you can tell, we're kind of just going through some rival matches, really. It's pretty bog standard. We managed to get the first goal pretty easy, and we've actually had a really good run in the matches that I've kind of got quite a few of these reviews from. Obviously, I am doing it post-com, as you can imagine. I'm finding that I'm playing a few decent people that really, I don't know, they struggle. They really were struggling. Some people's defending ability just wasn't quite there, in my opinion. And Wijnaldum was absolutely banging in goals for me. Him and Richarlison in that cam striker kind of partnership was doing absolute wonders. And obviously this is taken over, I think, 4 or 5 games. So you will see a few different ones going through. But I was really happy with just his ability on the ball. His dribbling, like I said, was absolutely top notch for this moment in the game. Defensively, I didn't really see too much because I was playing him more in that attacking role. In terms of shooting, managed to get a few of the basic goals in. Really, that's about it. I'm not asking him to absolutely bang in a 30-yard absolute screamer. But the kind of basics he was doing, managing to get them finesses in. He was holding people off. He's got a little bit of skill on him. Obviously, we get a little bit of a moment here. I do not understand what that guy's keeper was doing. I've literally never seen it. I've seen a few things on Twitter, in fact, with it. But I've literally never seen a keeper do that like that. And we managed to bury that penalty in. He is my penalty taker for the team as well, just to kind of get him that few more goals. We managed to do that cut inside. The dribbling on this is absolutely phenomenal. I really do like the fact that you've got, it's almost like how they said with a 360 touch, it's like a real good turn that you can do. And if you get it right and the defender doesn't manage to pick up on that, you've got a really good chance of getting ahead. We see here again, I'm still kind of learning with the crossing. I don't know why, again, the keeper didn't come out fully, but he didn't go for it. I'm guessing I've had that issue before where just not actually gone full for it. But anyway, let's get into the overall review for Wijnaldum and see what it's all about as he makes that assist to Richarlison. Let's get in it. So going into the overall then for Wijnaldum, as you can see, he is extinct still across every single platform. 42 on the PlayStation, 35 on the Xbox, and 25 on the PC. I don't know why they're different, but I suppose the markets are, they're pretty much completely different. With the PS now, with the game changers all loading up stupid amounts of points on there, then obviously that's going to build quite a big market right there. And Xbox does seem to be trailing off a little bit. It's still half and half. I can't wait for it to go to cross-platform to see what the market, it's like a mega market then, what actually happens with that. And obviously PC, unfortunately, isn't really that popular from what I know. For all I know, PC could be popping, but from what I see on the market side of stuff, it's really not. Like I say though, 4-star, 4-star, we've got great pace on him. 4-star, 4-star. Pace is good. It's above average compared to some that are really low down now. And especially for a central midfielder, I don't expect him to have 85, 90 plus because we're not at that point in the game. Shooting and defending, both of them together, are coming in for me are just above average. They're good, but it depends on what you want to get up more. If you want to get up pace, shooting, pace, defending, shooting, defending, it all rests on that chem style because his dribbling is phenomenal. He's really, really good on that dribble, and not even necessarily the technical skill move kind of side, but just having the ball at his feet, nice quick turns, being able to react to the ball, keeps the ball at his feet, nice, good composure, a bit of agility and balance never hurts anybody. He's got great passing, he's got good stamina, he's got really good jumping, and that is where it comes down to. What chemistry style do you want? So we've got obviously the tab over here. As you can see, we have changed the kind of dynamic of this link or this template because it corrupted basically. So I've had to redo it completely. We've kept it the same, but I thought I had a big space in the middle. I've decided to go with the links as a little bit bigger so you can see them. Obviously, we could potentially rework it and get maybe the overall to be a bit smaller, go at the top potentially, and then we could get more links. as we get more cards into the game, it could be an interesting one, or we add something. Let me know down below if you're still here, if there's anything you'd like to see on this screen that's extra, basically. But as you can see, we go onto this chem style. So if we go with a shadow, it would turn him into an 85 CDM. What is he without it? So with a basic, he's an 85 anyway. 87 midfielder, 86 cam. So with a shadow, he goes up to 85. Obviously takes away the basic. If then we go with a hunter, it would turn him into an 84 striker. Would give you that finishing, would also give you the pace. And that's the kind of pace options you've got. You don't need no catalyst because his passing's pretty good. Even if the rest of them are orange or yellow, whatever you want to call it. These two are what matters, in my opinion, for him right now. If we go finisher, you do get a bit more of a cam kind of going on to a centre forward, but I don't think he needs the dribbling. If you go with sniper, then again, you're looking at a lower rated just because you're getting up the physicals. It doesn't count to overall that much. The one that's very interesting, and I believe it is Gladiator, you could go for that all-round central midfielder and go for the potential shooting and defending. That could be an option because if you look at basic, we get a few decent upgrades. It's mainly on his dribbling, little bit of pace, shooting not as much. You get a bit of shot power, no finishing, and then obviously you get a bit of vision, good passing on there, and then a bit of defending. So that's why the overall turns up quite a lot when you just leave a basic on him. For me, I think if you leave him as a central midfielder, I'd probably keep with the basic. If you were going for more of a defensive mid, even if it is the exact same rating in terms of foot bin, you're going to get more out of it being a shadow because you just look at them stats and then you look at the pace. That for me is way more worth it with already having dribbling and then passing than to try and get a bit of everything. I would say I'd look at him more as a defensive mid than attacking because even when you put the hunter on, it's still not amazingly impressive, but you still could definitely do it. But for me, I would say DM, CM if you can't, if you're really struggling or you just want this position for him, the base position that he's got. But I would say DM would suit him quite well, and then CM next, and then Cam after that. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you all for the next one.